And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, the planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. It's orange!
145!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Decollage.
Amazing!
Put that in the big bag, Tingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream. You are looking at a Falcon 9, specifically Falcon 9 Booster 1067-29 at Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, and we are live for a launch of some more Starlink satellites tonight. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF. I'll be your host, and as always, we have our ever competent cohort of co-hosts joining us, starting off with Alex. Alex, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Man, it's always nice when we have a record holder booster again flying. It's the same one as the previous, 5 record holders. It's like the same booster has been just flying and flying and flying all over again.
Right,
I don't
Booster
know, it's-
1067 seems like it's kind of special, but we will
Yeah.
talk about that at length, I'm sure, as we wait to watch Falcon 9 get fueled up and hopefully launch into space today, along with a whole bunch of Starlink satellites. And the person who will be shooting that out in the field for us, pointing the cameras and getting us the best views, is Max Evans. Max, how do we have you, buddy?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. It's almost like we were just here a few hours ago. But yes, this is not quite a doubleheader, obviously, because it is technically the next day here, but it feels like it all the same. But it's always a special feeling having the Falcon 9 fleet leader out over at Slick 40 for its 29th flight now.
I mean, I think if it's 2 launches in the same 24-hour span, I think we can count that as a doubleheader. No? Maybe? Yes? Maybe we
mean,
should do a poll.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly does feel that way, and the workflow does sort of reflect that. And this would also be the 3rd doubleheader in about a week. So, exciting times.
It's absolutely wild, and we will be talking about the crazy cadence that SpaceX is hitting here in a moment. But first, I have to talk about the person operating the stream, who's Carson Phillips, who showed his info earlier than I was ready to, because Max and I were wrapping up our delightful little intro there. But Carson is operating today's stream like a pro. Thank you, Carson, so much. And you also saw NSF's socials pop up there. But what I want you all out in Chatland, watching right now on YouTube, to do is, if you have any questions, at NASA Spaceflight in chat with your question, so we see it pop up in some software we have running in the background. But 27 Starlink Mini V2s going into space today in just about 56 minutes. Alex, this is Booster 1067-29. It's going to be flying on its 29th flight. Why do they keep going for 1067 as their record breaker, as their life leader, like whatever the appropriate terminology is? Do you think there's any reason for that?
Well, there's probably 2 reasons. The first one, and probably the most obvious one, is that there's no other booster that has flown that many times, right? The only 2 ones are close to this one are B1063 and B1071, both on the West Coast, that had flown 26 flights. So they're 3 flights behind, right? And if you count more or less, like the turnarounds are usually a month and a half. Like this one is 50 days, so a month and a half or so, right? So that means they are, 5 months behind this one, right? So if they stopped flying B1067 by 5 complete months, it will still probably be ahead of the other 2 boosters that are closest to it. So that's the first most obvious one. And the second one is they can just keep flying it, right? It's like they're just flying it. Like, why would you keep it around, just sitting there, not flying at all? Like, between 76. Yeah, there's a booster that's actually not flown since February, and we don't know why, and it's being held there.
Wait, is it 1076?
Yeah, 76. Yeah.
Wait, so booster 1067 and booster 1076, like 1076 is like 67's evil twin.
Yeah, that again, that one has not flown since February 21st. It launched a Starlink mission and then they stopped flying it.
What?
It's not flown
I
again.
know I'm putting you on the spot, but what flight is 76 on?
We don't know.
Like, we don't know
not
how many
been-
times it's flown?
Oh, you mean how many flights? Yeah, so it's flown 21 times already.
Okay, so it's behind, but not that behind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's also B1069, which recently had
Nice.
its 25th flight. That will be sort of like third position in terms of numbers of flights. But yeah, that's pretty much why 67 has been the one doing that.
It's truly staggering that we are approaching, hopefully tonight, a booster with a -30 in its designation. That is absolutely wild. Max, having been out there at the Cape for so many of these launches and having seen the cadence really truly pick up, I mean, to me, I'm kind of just like, what? Wow, 30? Is it kind of normal to you, or is this wow to you still?
I mean, at some point, a lot of the missions that go off nowadays, the Starlinks in particular, all start to sort of blend together now. But missions like this, where we have a fleet leader out on the pad, and really flying in at this point unknown territory in terms of what Falcon 9 first stages can handle. These ones are always memorable, and hopefully for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. But Elon and SpaceX have said that they want to certify Falcon 9 first stages up to 40 flights, and we are about 75% there after tonight.
Wow.
So. But again, we are in unknown territory. It is a lot of wear and tear on these boosters to go up and come back down through the Earth's atmosphere post-flight. But they can handle it, and they obviously keep trucking along. So Falcon 9 has proven to be a very durable and very reliable rocket thus far.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we will talk more about tonight's launch, including its trajectory, here in just a moment. But Max, while we are chatting, I did want to ask you this question here from Pudini, who's asking, Max, what did you do today in between launches? Have you even left KSC? Because there was that ComSat launch earlier today, right?
Yep. I just went to grab dinner real quick, and then I was dumping and editing footage in between. Also, I had to move a bunch of gear out to the lawn here at the press site because we have to be in a completely different location compared to 39A and Slick 40, because we just don't have a great view of 40 unless we are all the way at the end of the lawn. So always keeping busy, always finding something to do. But I did leave, but I came right back. So, but that's all too common nowadays.
I mean, hey, it's a good problem to have. And
Flag
here's
shot.
an excellent flag shot from you earlier today. Gotta love it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Falcon 9, man. Absolute workhorse. And we're coming up tonight on the 29th flight of this booster. And it'll get a -30 once it lands. That's
Speaking
it's just hard to even think about.
Speaking of workhorse, this is also another milestone launch.
Oh
Why is
God,
that,
yeah,
Alex?
you're right.
It is Falcon 9's 500th launch overall. There you can see on the fourth point there. It's a 499th overall flight, but it is the 500th launch overall. So already 500 launches of Falcon 9. Remember when we were talking about, the 500 launches of Falcon, counting Falcon 1 and Falcon Heavy, and I said, just wait until early July and we'll have the 500th just for Falcon 9 alone. And here we are. July 3rd now on the East Coast. So we're already on that milestone. Kind of crazy to think about.
It's truly astounding. I mean, what is the only other rocket family that could possibly hold a candle to that? I guess like Soyuz.
The R7,
Yeah.
the R7 family as a whole, but that's really the only one that Falcon even comes close to. Because mind you, R7 has flown over 2,000 times to this point, and the Falcon family alone, being Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Falcon Heavy, have flown for a total of about just under 520 times. So,
Sorry,
go ahead, Alex.
I'm blind. I said July 3rd. It's July 2nd. I'm really terribly sorry.
How dare you? How dare you, Alex?
Continue. I'm
I've
really
never
sorry.
been more disappointed in you than I am right now. Anyways, Max, continue, please.
No, I mean I was about done. I didn't even notice the dates, Alex. Didn't even notice.
They just blend. And,
It does,
yeah.
and yeah, we're already halfway through 2025, and now technically, Jack, we are closer to 2050 than we are 2000.
No,
Yes,
no,
that
not
is-
yet. Not yet.
That will be correct.
At noon.
Yes. Thank you, Alex. Technically correct.
Remember.
Which is the
Yeah.
best kind of correct. All right. So tonight's trajectory, what are we looking at, Alex? We're going northeast? I say we. SpaceX is going northeast?
Well, maybe you are going northeast. I don't know, Jack. But yeah, this launch is heading out northeast. There we can see those hazard zones, the aerial and marine notices for this launch. Obviously, so that people flying and people boating out there are making sure that hey, just be careful. There might be things falling onto you if this thing fails. Of course, we don't want it to fail. But in any case, they obviously need to keep out, have a keep out zone there for this launch. And there you can see it's going northeast, sort of flying parallel to the east coast of the United States. It is a night launch, so perhaps if there's good weather in your area and you are somewhere along the east coast of the United States, you might be able to see it. So, just try it. It's what I always say.
Definitely go outside and take a look up in the sky. If you're further up the eastern seaboard, it might just be a bright dot. If you've never seen the ISS go over, maybe not the best thing to look for, but still worth a try. But if you have seen the ISS go over, then, a second stage cooking along at a pretty high altitude, I don't think it looks too dissimilar. And depending on the moon situation, you might get a little bit of moon jelly and some plume interaction there and be able to see it even easier, right, Max?
Yeah, but tonight, unfortunately, there is not going to be any real moon or pre-dawn light to be working with tonight. It's just all going to be a dark sky.
That was my next question, is what the moon doing?
It has already set, I believe, behind us. I was following it for most of the night because it was really pretty. But it has now set behind us, and we are just now looking at, thankfully now, a mostly clear sky here on the Space Coast with some, I have to say, rather pretty lightning out over the Atlantic right now, albeit that is not posing a direct concern to tonight's launch because that is just so far away. And even if it was even closer, Falcon 9 would be flying pretty much right over it. So it is a rather pretty night here and a pleasant change from how the weather was today earlier in the afternoon.
Nice. Good deal. Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's been super stormy here in Starbase, and the lightning, it's been real. It's reminded me of when I was in Florida. It's always good to have a nice lightning storm when you're on the beach and you're like, oh, okay, time to go. I do want to thank everybody coming out supporting the stream. Mr. Fluffy02, thank you. They want me to sing. I will spare everybody that. But the West Coast is the best. No, we're not gonna worry about that. Chromatic, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Seriously appreciate that. If you got that gifted membership, no, Siri, don't activate on my phone because I said seriously. That's bad design. If you got that membership, be sure to thank Chromatic. Also, Apocalypse Cow, that's Danger Moo, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank the person that gifted you the membership. If you want a gifted membership, be active in chat. And you might just get one from some of the generous people that are gifting them, and then you have access to a whole bunch of sweet extra content. Roseanne DeVasto, thanks for the super. They say, geez, Alex, you away. Love that you're here. I might have been reading that one wrong, or I might be missing a joke. But either way, Nibbles, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships as well. The membership program is super important to helping us do what we do. So thank you, everybody, for contributing. Somebody named Carson Phillips is asking, do you think they push this booster till they lose it, or stop and keep it after a number of flights? I mean, I think with any life leader, they'll push it till they expend it on a launch and say, yep, okay, that was the number. I don't know, Max, do you disagree, or do you think they'll like have a life leader at some point where they're like, okay, put this one in a museum, it's at 40?
It's really tough to say. I mean, if anything, it makes the most sense just to keep flying them as much as you can to get data and to see really just how far Falcon 9 can go. Because at this point in time, even over 10 flights, SpaceX is flying Falcon 9 beyond what it was initially expected to. I mean, the 10 flight milestone back then, even like 3-4 years ago, seemed like an insane milestone, and now 10 flights is young for a booster. It seems nowadays by comparison to most of the fleet now. But with 1067, it wasn't always the fleet leader. We first had 1058, then we had 1060, then 1062, and we lost 1058 and 1062 out at sea, unfortunately. And then 1060, I believe, was expended on a mission, I believe, a couple of years ago. I can't remember which mission it was exactly, but 1067 just happened to be the next in line behind all the other ones, and it is now the fleet leader as a result. So,
Max, when you said a couple of years ago, I actually went and checked because I have the spreadsheet page of the boosters and everything open. So I was scrolling and I was like, huh, and I chuckled because you said a couple of years ago, and it feels like that, right?
it was last year, wasn't it?
It was last year. Yep, on the on one of the Galileo launches.
That's what it was. Okay, I remember it
Yeah.
now.
And so it's like it feels like it was a couple of years ago, but it wasn't.
I mean, by technicality, it is two different years, 2025 and 2024. So 2 years.
It's not how time works, but I mean, based on some of your tweets, I think we all know you might not have the firmest grasp on how time works.
Thanks.
Love you, buddy.
Well, if we're talking about how time works,
Yeah.
let's not talk about you, Jack.
Okay.
Can you
all
tell
right.
the audience why I was on
Okay.
I know
commentary
where
for
Alex
the
is going with
last
this.
launch?
Hey, let's do some viewer questions. How about we do some viewer questions? That sounds like a great idea. Hey, Alex, Dan is asking, what's 1067's quickest turnaround? But you have to look at your spreadsheets for that, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty distracting to look at your spreadsheets to know what 1067's fastest turnaround was, huh?
Quickly scrolling through.
Hey, Max, what
It
cameras are you
looks
running
like it was
tonight?
about 22 days.
22
Yeah,
days,
it was-
wow.
22 days between its 23rd and 24th flights.
Good question. Good answer. Hey, Max, what cameras are you running tonight?
Why'd you try cutting off Alex? I wanted to hear Alex.
No, he had a good answer. That was a good question, good answer.
I
Nice
also
and
had
succinct.
a really nice thing to say before about time.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Alex. I want to hear it.
Can you tell the audience why I had to commentate on the last stream as well?
Yeah, it's almost like there was supposed to be somebody else that was supposed to be hosting the stream, and then I guess for one reason or another didn't, and here we are.
So you're in the back jonesing. It's been less
I'm
time
not
than
salty
that
at all.
since
No, not at
Jack
all.
was late for a stream.
Hey, here's a good question from Mark Jones. They're saying, can you explain why it's necessary to put thousands of Starlink satellites into orbit? Who wants to take that one?
That is
Raise your hand.
100% an Alex question.
Oh dear. Well, you could in theory just have one satellite, but have it far away that it can see a bunch of surface of the globe, and just like geostationary satellites and everything, right? The only problem is you're very far away, so you have high latency, and also it's very costly to have high power and high bandwidth with that sort of arrangement. You will need a really big deployable antenna, like some of these big comsats in GTO, right, or GEO. There are many of those up there, but they are very costly. It's it's quite expensive, and you also need a big rocket. The other option is you put, instead of one single satellite looking at a large area of the globe, you put them closer and you put more of them. Now, the reason why they need thousands of them is because they are very, very close, and because you need a lot of users to be able to use. So you essentially are having one user, for example, maybe talking to multiple satellites, and that multiply that, among many users in a certain area of the globe. So when you take that into account, one satellite may be talking to thousands of users on the ground at each time, right? And that means all of that load, all of that bandwidth that goes through the satellite needs to be spread out. And you kind of want a high bandwidth. You kind of want, speeds well over 100 megabits per second, for example. If you don't care about it and you are okay with delivering like 2 megabits per second, that's probably okay with a lower number of satellites.
Yeah,
or maybe
but Boo,
having a larger antenna or something.
we want broadband. We want fast speeds.
Exactly. You want fast speeds, low latency, so you need a lot of satellites, and usually you want thousands of them, especially in mid-inclination orbits like this one, for example. This one is launching to a 53-degree inclination, which means a lot of the overlaps between the satellites, when you put them sort of in a map, that orbit, you will get lots of overlaps around the 53-degree north and 53-degree south latitudes, which means that's like 80% of the globe, pretty much, right?
Right.
So you get a lot of bandwidth in those areas.
Makes sense. I mean, each Starlink satellite's like a flying cell tower. That's oversimplifying, but to cover the world with flying cell towers, you need a lot of them, I think, is the shortest possible way I could answer that question. In contrast to Alex's very long but very good answer. Good job, Alex.
It was less than 2 minutes.
You know what else is going to be a good answer? Max's answer right now, when I say, hey, Max, what are we looking at for the timeline tonight? How are we doing, and where are we at?
Well, we actually just crossed the T-minus 38-minute marker, which is where the SpaceX launch director will either verify that the vehicle and ground systems are either go or no-go for propellant load. Assuming all is go, propellant load will begin in about 2.5 minutes time at T-minus 35 minutes, which is where stage 1, RP1, and LOX load, and also stage 2, RP1 load will commence. And if all goes well, we should be seeing frost around the bottom of the LOX tank from this perspective at about T-minus 32 minutes or so and change. Following that, we should be pressing on toward the T-minus 20-minute and 20-second vent, or the big vent, or the best vent, as it is otherwise called, where SpaceX begins to thermally condition and purge the plumbing inside of the transporter erector in preparation for stage 2 liquid oxygen load, and that will be a rather obvious vent of a ton of vapor coming out of the TE for short. So with that, we still have a long way to go before then, and we need to get prop load underway first, hopefully in just under 2 minutes.
Excellent. So we'll keep an eye on the base of the booster there, and hopefully we see it get frosty, indicating that it's being loaded with propellants. Let's do some more questions. Reminder, if you have a question in chat at NASA Spaceflight, like type the @ in the words NASA Spaceflight, and then your question, and we'll see it pop up in some software we have running in the background. Here's one from Imperfect Streamer, asking, who is the nicest person at NASA Spaceflight? That's tough. I'm going to say Das. And I'm not just sucking up. I actually think it's Das.
I was going to say.
Alex, do you have an answer? I'm putting everybody on the spot tonight.
No comment.
Max?
Definitely not me, for sure.
Well, yeah, I
Oh,
could
you're
say that
nice.
as well.
Carson in our back channel says pizza. Honestly, not wrong. Good question, though. I think we're all pretty chill. Severin Fisher asking, what are the 4 towers for? Wrong answers only. Max, Wrong answers. What are the 4 towers for?
They are the basis for a big trampoline.
For catching a rocket catching trampoline.
No, just fairings.
Nice. Alex?
It's to catch, I don't know, awesomeness and distribute it over the rocket.
Wow.
Wow.
No, I know what they're for. It's to catch the super heavy boosters whenever they're able to do point to point from Starbase to here.
All right, moving along. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was
just like
thinking of.
yes. Yeah,
This,
just like
that's
that.
exactly
dear.
this is what the 4 towers are for. Whenever they do an RTLS out of Slick 40, it's this. We're being sarcastic, if that's not clear. I have to say it. More
Yes.
Yeah, /S. Thank you, Alex. More questions. Kurt is asking, do the boosters always launch from the same pad, or do they switch them around? Max, they switch them around, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's been West Coast boosters that become East Coast boosters and vice versa, all that.
Oh, I thought that they meant pads here in Florida, but yeah, there have been a handful of boosters that have gone back and forth between Vandenberg and here. I think there's actually been 1 or 2 that have gone back and forth more than once, and I think they're both still at Vandenberg. But yeah, some do go back and forth. I guess it just depends on where the fleet is at in terms of numbers and whatever needs are in flux and whatever SpaceX wants to do with booster distribution. But as far as I'm aware, we haven't had any bit of boosters going back and forth for a while. It seems that first stages are not something that they are short of, especially with 3 brand new boosters going out to both Vandy and here in the near future. So yeah, they have gone back and forth, but not for a while, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be between coasts, but sometimes a booster will launch from 39A, sometimes it'll launch from 40. They're not like married to a single pad, right?
Yeah, and in that case, it really just depends on what SpaceX needs the booster for. Obviously, if they have a crew launch, obviously that booster is going to be assigned to most likely Pad A. But that being said, that they have launched crew from Slick 40 before, and they have that option now if they ever needed it. But more often than not, boosters end up at Slick 40 for whatever commercial sats or the obvious Starlink missions that are ever so prevalent now. Slick 40 is the busiest launch complex currently in the world, and that is where most boosters end up anyway. I think today with MTG launching was a rarity because we don't normally get non-Dragon missions from LC-39A anymore, so it's always a treat. But more often than not, boosters, at least here in Florida, launch from Slick 40.
Man, putting it that way, it's the most active launch site in the world. I mean, it is. We see how often they launch out of it. It's absolutely wild.
Hey, Jack, I
And
see
you guys-
Frost.
Ooh.
Nice. So the booster's being fueled. Exactly what we wanted to see about this time. Sorry, Alex, what were you going to say?
I was gonna ask you, can you guess which one is the second most BC? What would be the expression? The second most BC spaceport or pad or whatever. Yeah. Both.
Oh, I don't have to
work,
guess.
'cause
I know which one it is. It's the pad that's on the best coast, Slick 4.
Yep.
That's
I was
right.
gonna say you don't really need to specify spaceport or pad because it's the only active pad in that spaceport.
Carson has
Well-
activated the timeline graphic. You can see the timeline there, but that's not important because in chat we have a brand new poll that just started.
Wow.
Best NSF.
Wait.
We've got Leica
Oh
as an
my
option.
goodness.
Jake, which is Sawyer's cat, as an option. We've got Pixel, which is Kevin's cute little doggy, as an option. And we've got Alex as an option.
I refuse. I'm gonna strike against this poll.
So far, Jake is winning, but Alex is close behind. Oh no, Alex is winning now. Oh, wow. Okay, this might be the most divisive poll we've done in a long time. But Moldy, how are you doing, buddy? Oh man, good stuff. 30 minutes to go. Falcon 9 getting fueled up. Here's a really cool question, Max. I want to throw this one at you, and then we should talk about the weather, but I'm going to throw this one at you at first. Brian is asking, is it possible to aim a mic at the VAB to isolate the squeal so that we can hear it? Because people always say in chat that they can't hear the squeal. Can we
Yes.
is there a way we can point a mic directly at the VAB for this launch?
There is, but there is still a lot of stuff that is still in Starbase that we would otherwise need to deploy a separate microphone in that area. But yes, in the future we can absolutely do that. D and I have also been toying with the idea for a while of having a microphone somehow somewhere inside the VAB as well to see just what it sounds like on the inside. So definitely something that we are trying to do in the future, and hopefully sooner than later.
Nice. Alex is winning the poll, by the way.
Dear Lord.
Good job, Alex. I'm pretty mad. Leica is in third place.
No, don't. No.
I'm pretty sure. Like Pixel is getting short shrift here. Like only 10% for Pixel. I'm surprised Kevin hasn't busted into the commentary and started yelling. Pixel's cute. Come on, Pixel deserves better than 10%.
I think it's because we haven't shown her.
Oh, we should show
next
her.
flame trench that Kevin operates, he should bring her.
Pet trench?
Yeah, the pet trench.
John Cook is asking, what do you think the maximum number of reuse for Falcon 9s is? Alex, I dare you to give me an answer that's a sentence or less.
I think they're just gonna hit 40 and leave it there.
Really? Really?
I don't feel like they need more. I don't know. Like,
Do you think they'll just start expending them at 40?
well, if they keep blowing up ships at Massey's, at Star Race, maybe Falcon 9 will need a few more upgrades and get beyond 40 flights. But I think, 40 flights, the current target for them might be good enough. I don't know.
Wow, I did not expect that. Max? Agree, disagree?
Tough to say. I would like to see them keep going after 40, assuming they get there. But we really don't know what the actual structural limits are of Falcon 9 at this point. Hence why we often say whenever there's a fleet leader flying, it is in unknown territory, and that we have never seen a Falcon 9 fly this many times before. And for all we know, 29 flights could be a limit of sorts somewhere on the first stage structure. Completely hypothetical, obviously. That was just meant for an example. I think either Falcon 9 is going to have some kind of issue pop up in the low 30s, or it's going to make it to 40 no problem. I'm having a tough time picking which, though.
Man. Unexpected answers. That's a good question, John. Thank you for that. Max, what is the weather out there like tonight? You are the person with boots on the ground, pointing big glass and cameras at a rocket. You said it was mostly clear skies earlier? Like, how are we doing?
We're doing good so far, especially compared to what was forecasted at least earlier for the launch from LC-39A. The forecast from the 45th Weather Squadron based over at Patrick Space Force Base was calling for only a 10% probability of violation due to weather concerns tonight, with the primary concern being the cumulus cloud rule, of which I don't see any around us. There is some overcast coming our way, but it's not cumulus clouds. And as I mentioned before earlier in the stream, there is some lightning visible out beyond 40 and 41 out over the Atlantic Ocean, but it is currently posing no threat to Falcon 9 as it is not really in the flight corridor, and Falcon 9 would otherwise be flying right over it. But otherwise, the upper level wind shear, booster recovery weather, and solar activity risk criteria are all low, and so really weather is looking almost as good as it can get, minus these pesky overcast clouds coming over now. But it was screaming hot earlier with only a 20% chance of favorable weather, and we ended up getting perfectly clear blue skies. So it's been a weird day. But a good forecast to get Falcon 9 off the ground is always a welcome sight.
Indeed. 25 minutes to go. Clock ticking down. You can see the booster getting frostier as it gets more and more loaded with propellant. Roseanne, thank you for the super chat. They say autocorrect killed it. Just grateful Alex is here. During what time is it in Spain? Alex, what time is it in Spain?
Early 8:03 a.m. right now.
Oh, well, thanks for being with us, buddy. Mr. Fluffy says, nicest, Jake or Leica? Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. Bideford, of course, always coming in with some support. Thank you, Bideford, for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And Shazbert Toddbot says, hashtag Team Jake. What's the poll doing?
Oh, dear Lord.
Leica's in second place. Let's go. Leica's beating Jake. That's all I care about. Leica could never beat you, Alex, but we have a goal?
Yeah.
Okay, we
Have
do.
you seen it?
There is a goal. We get 10 teal super chats and we'll show pet pictures. See, that's fun. That's way more fun than like me having to sing or something. Nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to see pet pictures. But you know what everyone also wants? Is for us to answer their excellent questions. So let's do that. Riverdave is asking, what kind of gear is Max rocking out there? Max, what kind of gear are you rocking out there?
Well, I am running about 5 different cameras tonight, 2 of which are directly for the live stream. I have a Panasonic BGH1 and an older Panasonic broadcast camera out for the wide and tight shots that you have been seeing shuffled back and forth. I'm also running a variety of still cameras out tonight. One, I'm going to be trying some sort of experimental streak shot with a lens that I've never tried to use with it before. So we'll see how that goes. I'm also running a couple of telephotos. One has a 10-stop ND filter on it, so that the goal of that is going to be trying to get like the lightsaber effect coming off the pad. So hopefully all goes well with that. And then I have my Canon R5 also running a 600mm lens, just getting some basic liftoff stills just to document the occasion of B1067 crossing the 29 flight milestone. So more cameras than I would normally run for a Starlink, but this one is, as Sawyer often says, is not your ordinary Starlink.
Did you say that with like a southern accent? Like a slight southern accent?
I didn't mean to, did I?
Maybe I'm projecting. I don't know. I am back in Texas, so like I just sounded like not your ordinary Starlink. Like I don't know. There's a little bit there.
I've been living in Florida for about a little over 3 years now, so I wouldn't be surprised if I picked up a little bit of a twang.
We need to get you a cowboy hat.
That'd be dope. I want one.
It's about time.
And boots.
Nice. Alex, Severin Fisher is asking, are the 3 engines used for an entry burn the same engines on every flight, or do they change the configuration to make them last longer?
As in the same locations? Yes, they are always the same. Whether they are the same engines as in the same engine, you know what I mean, right? Like it's Merlin serial number 2000 or something, right? It's probably a changing thing after a few flights. I'm mostly sure they keep the engines the same pretty much for a few flights. But for example, this turnaround time for this flight, for example, was a little bit longer than usual. Maybe they changed a few engines. They took a longer look at the booster and things like that. Like the previous turnaround time was 29 days, whereas this one is 50 days, right? So perhaps they took a longer look to some of the systems. They may have changed an engine or two. So yeah, that could be a possibility. We do know that they changed the engines and switched them between boosters and things like that. It's not uncommon.
But in terms of the actual startup sequence for the entry burn, it is engine 1, engine 5, and engine 9.
Mm-hmm.
And on SpaceX's stream, they have a graphic of which engines those are, and you will see them lit in their sequence. So E1, E5, and E9 always.
Yep.
Nice. Holy cow. Okay, we have 7 We are at 7 of 10 super chats to the goal. We might actually be showing pet pictures on this stream as we hit T-minus 20 minutes. Thank you, Pudini, Revhead, RC Horseman, Stefan Dex, Lockbox, RC Horseman again, and Moldy Space. Thank you. All right, we are seeing the T-minus 20-minute vent here from Falcon 9. Max, what exactly are we looking at, and why is it good news?
It is great news because this is a sign that Stage 2 RP1 has wrapped up and SpaceX is beginning to flow a bit of liquid oxygen through the lines in the transporter erector to purge them and thermally condition them in preparations for Stage 2 liquid oxygen loading. The reason why they do that is the last thing you want to do is flow any sort of super cold or cryogenic fluid through any plumbing or material that is not either at or very near the temperatures of the fluid flowing through it, because then you risk all sorts of damage and flash gassing, and just it could turn the day sour for a lot of people if it's not done correctly. So
Right.
what you are seeing is just the excess vapor coming out of the TE as they begin to flow locks through it. And that vapor, as we see, is actually flowing a little bit off to the left, which is the north, from, if I'm directionally correct here, northeast more like. But that serves as a good indicator of what the winds and the weather are like. Obviously, you can see that the vapor is ever so prominent, which means it is very, very humid here in Florida, and I can confirm it is muggy as all can be. But obviously, there is also a slight breeze blowing it, making it look like Falcon 9 is actually wearing a cape at the Cape. Normally, I think for the last couple of missions that we've had at night, the air was just completely stagnant and the vapor came straight down. But obviously, coming off to the left tonight, and I have to say that that slight breeze does feel quite nice.
Good deal. I'm always there for a nice breeze. Like today, it's been rainy, but it's at least been not horribly hot out. And at least now with Falcon 9, we have the added benefit of being able to see that plume extra well. You know what else we're going to see?
It's fluffy.
Because everybody is coming through with support. Is pet pictures. I don't know, should we do pet pictures like alongside the replays? We're 18 minutes away from launch. I mean, we have succeeded in reaching the goal. Thank you, everybody, so much. So we're going to show pet pics. I'm not exactly sure what that entails, but there you go. We have succeeded. RC Horseman, thank you. Jack Wales, thank you. Pet pics, I'm in, they say. Larly Nelson, thank you so much. They say, pets, please. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there. Hop Hayes. They say thoughts on the Honda Rocket Hop they did a couple weeks ago. Hop Hayes doesn't even know about the pets goal. Crazy to think Japan might be reusable before ESA. It's possible. That was
Wait, what did you just say?
ESA. Sorry.
There you go.
ESA.
Okay, NASA spaceflight.
I'm furious. I'm so mad at you right now, Alex. I want you to know that.
I got you there so much.
You did. You did get me. I deserved it. But yeah, I mean, Max, do you have any thoughts on the Honda Rocket Hop? That was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty awesome. It certainly came out of nowhere for a bunch of people, but certainly a great step forward for Honda, because that was the last thing I was expecting that company to do. But the more companies checking or trying to create some sort of reusable launch system, the better.
Yeah, I forget who said it. It's not my take. I'm stealing their take. But somebody, maybe it was EJ, maybe it was Scott Manley, but they quote tweeted the Honda Hop tweet, and it was like, yeah, Honda's not in the business of making single use hardware, y'all. I think that is the biggest takeaway to me is if they keep pulling that thread. I mean, they're a powerhouse, so we'll see where that goes. Very interesting. Revhead, thank you so much. RC Horseman, thank you again. Somebody named D Wise, I have no idea who that could be, saying pet pics. Apocalypse Cow saying let's go pics. And ODST Moody, thank you so much for the super chat. They say loving working night shift because I get to spend some time with you delightful people quite often. Oh, buddy. Also, and over pictures of the floof ball. All right, pet pics are happening. Rest assured. thank you all for the support. We will figure out how best to handle that. I see some chatter happening in the
Yeah.
back channel. I'm not going to spoil anything, but 15 minutes to go to a launch of Falcon 9, specifically booster 1067-29. That means it'll be flying on its 29th flight. It'll be landing on a Shortfall of Gravitas, right, Alex?
Yeah, they actually changed the drone ships. It was supposedly doing just read the instructions at first. We even saw just read the instructions head northeast for this launch, and then this launch delayed by a day, and then the MTG launch from 39A was going to be coming up first, and so they moved just read the instructions east to support that launch, and instead they went out with ASOG, with a Shortfall of Gravitas for this one. So yeah, if that were to happen, that's going to be a lot of landings on this one. It's going to be the 116th landing on a Shortfall of Gravitas out of 117 attempts. It's just like over 100, it just gets lost.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I remember hearing forever ago, like years and years ago, that a booster landing on a drone ship was more stressful, or like it caused more wear on a booster than an RTLS. Am I making that up? Am I remembering that correctly? Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, it could be because of the waves and the trip back, but it seems like they've managed that, right? I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? As they say, this booster has already flown 28 times, and it's going to fly 29th time. 17 of those 28 launches have been on Starlinks, and every single Starlink mission has been a drone ship landing. So that's a lot of drone ship landings for this one.
Yeah, no kidding. I guess that makes sense. Proof isn't the pudding. Thanks, now I want pudding. Let's see. More questions. Keep them coming, y'all. I see a bunch of good ones in the queue. Max, here's one for you. Gabriel GG is asking, have you filmed a launch on top of the VAB? I have not. But Max, have you? He asks knowingly.
I have been fortunate enough to film a number of launches up top. I think I've been up there for 4 or 5 to this point. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to go on top a few times. It is a spectacular view, and certainly the best view that you can get of any of the pads, at least from 41 and up towards 39B, and anywhere in between, really. I'm trying to recall which ones I've been up for. I think the first was Crew 5, then Starliner's second orbital flight test, then Crew flight test, then Polaris Dawn, and then in fact there was one more. Oh, and then USSF 44, the one Falcon Heavy that was completely fogged over, and we didn't see anything.
Well, still cool. Did the building shake during a launch?
Oh, very much so. It's kind of unnerving, especially if you're not used to it, because the building is so huge. You still feel a little bit of like a trampoline effect from the roof, just vibrating and shaking. Especially with Falcon Heavy, when you have 3 times the sound energy coming your way compared to a single stick Falcon 9. So yeah, the building does move, and it is quite a task to get to the roof. And that you have to walk inside a good bit, and then you have to take 2 separate lifts to get up there as well. Sometimes stairs if that top lift is broken, which it was last time, unfortunately. But yeah, it is a ride, and it is certainly a wonderful experience.
Man, it's like total bucket list item. I eagerly await the day that I get to shoot up top. I mean, wow. Wait, have all the launches you've shot from the top of the VAB 39A?
No, OFT2 and crew flight tests were from 41.
So, any difference between the two, like between a 39A or a 41 from the VAB, like vibration wise, or?
I mean, not so much from the actual pad itself, but more so the vehicle. In that Atlas, it really isn't that loud of a rocket compared to Falcon, either Heavy or Falcon 9. Obviously, it is still very loud, but you don't get the same vibrations on the VAB as you otherwise would with Falcon Heavy, for example. Especially, I can only imagine what that building did when SLS flew on Artemis 1. Oh my God!
man.
Or even Starship. Can you
Right.
imagine?
I having been on top of our shipping container that we have at our river lot when Starship launches, and feeling how that metal thing just feels like a trampoline. Yeah, I can only imagine. You know what else I can imagine? People running to the NSF shop to get themselves something nice, specifically a metal print. We have some new ones in the shop from recent launches, including that fantastic Falcon Nebula from Sawyer there. Pudini in chat says, I got Sawyer's Falcon Flies metal print delivered today. I can't unsee Jack's face and the jellyfish. Can I get a refund or a sticker to improve it? Come on now. It doesn't look that much like me. It's a beautiful image. Don't ruin it by thinking about my face. But yeah, the metal prints are really cool. They're literally printed directly on metal. They're super easy to mount to the wall, and they look great. Plus, a cut of the sale goes to the photographer who made the image, so you're supporting NSF and the individual photographer and getting something cool in return, which is really sweet. So there you go. You can also, in the print shop, I don't know if Carson is able to show this, in the print shop you can sort by rocket or by photographer. See there, like you can, if you want to support a specific photographer, or you know somebody shot an image that you want to grab, there's a bunch of different ways you can sort of dig around there. So we really appreciate it. You know, there's a bunch of different ways you can support us. There's, the membership program and the super chats, and it doesn't have to be a monetary thing, but if you want something in return for your support and you want a cool piece of artwork for your wall, that is the thing to do, is to grab a metal print. It's hugely helpful to helping us continue to do what we do here. So thank you for that.
You can have Jack on your wall too.
Stop.
I lost it when I read that question.
I feel like we need the breaking news stinger, because breaking news, Leica is now at the top of the poll for best NSF pet at 32%. And we did make the 10 super chat goal, and we are going to show pet pictures, probably as part of the replays after launch, because we are just under 8 minutes to go. So we'll focus on the rocket. But when we get to replays, we will make good on our promise, and we will show pet pictures, including pictures of viewer-selected, not unanimous, viewer-selected best pet, Leica, along with, the others, including Alex. Oh, good deal. All right, we are at about 7 minutes to go. Max, I know you have a bunch of camera things to handle, including getting us good views of tonight's launch and those experimental shots you mentioned earlier. So let's send you off so you can go do what you do and make some cool imagery for us.
Absolutely. It is that time indeed, and launch is almost here. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
We will see you on the other side. Have a good one, man. Man, 1067-29. Are you, Alex, you're always like so sanguine, but I mean, you're unflappable. Are you flapped? Are you flapped by 29 or no?
What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
I mean, I could call you up and be like, "Hey, dude, I found 3 gold bars," and he'd be like, "Oh, cool." Like you're no, generally.
I'll tell you. Can you give me one?
But I mean, are you impressed that they're about to fly for a 29th time tonight? I mean, this is a record for Falcon 9.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it didn't need a full tear down of the booster or anything. Like when they debuted Block 5, I remember they were saying, "Oh, we'll do normal refurbishment for like the 10 first flights, and then after that, we need a major overhaul of the booster and blah blah, all that stuff." But no, they've certified these boosters to just be continually reused with minimal refurbishment for many flights now up to the 29th. and they want to hit 40, right? And I think that's a testament to, you have an expectation, then you start flying, and it either goes one way, aka the bad way, or it goes the other way, which is the bad way, the good way. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, it's 8 a.m. here.
You're doing great, sweetie.
But I was thinking, for example, the shuttle, we were thinking, 50 something launches a year or something like that, and we reuse these orbiters and boosters and blah blah. They had these crazy goals, and then it did not even reach 10% of that. And then you've got Falcon 9, where it was sort of the opposite. They wanted, 30, 40 launches a year, it's okay. And then they're now 80 something flight of the year at the beginning of July. So yeah.
Really an outstanding cadence. Falcon 9 is just so impressive. Every now and then I'll be talking to a non-space enthusiast friend, and I'll try and as briefly as I can explain the remarkable things that Falcon 9 is doing and has done. And people are pretty mind blown. I don't think a lot of people out there really realize. I'm not even sure what to call it. Like the sea change, the paradigm shift. If I want to be all hokey,
It's also
it has changed the nature of launch.
Yeah, it's also very easy to look at Starship blowing up and everything and be like, haha, this is the same company, so of course Falcon 9 is the same. And it's like it's two parallel universes in comparison. It's not even close.
I wasn't even gonna go there, but yes,
I went there for you. It's okay.
In the last several weeks, I at least, I'm sure a lot of us have had to explain to family and friends various events that have occurred in the Starship program. And yeah, like you said, two parallel universes. I mean, I don't even know if they're parallel. They're two very different universes, Falcon 9 and Starship. And Falcon 9 is just an absolute boss of a vehicle with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go until this launch from Slick 40 from Cape Canaveral in Florida. It's going northeast. If you didn't hear us say that at the start of the stream, it is a northeastern trajectory to this shell. What is it, 1025, Alex?
Yep, this is I guess, mission 25, but not 25th launch. It's actually the 18th launch of Group 10.
SpaceX naming aside.
Oh yeah, Pat 1 and Pat 2, right?
Don't hurt me. All right, 3 minutes to go. Looks like we're getting some pad views now. Excellent. You got a frosty Falcon 9. Also, Apocalypse Cow, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That's extremely generous of you. They say this is now officially the most best pet-based launch coverage ever. Great job as usual. Thank you so much, Apocalypse Cow. What was that? Stage 1 locks load complete, Alex?
Yep, first stage now fully loaded with the propellants. The next thing will be the second stage locks load completing. Should be in about 30 seconds or so from now. So that should be the last tank to be loaded on Falcon 9. They will see the comeback of the Stromback vent and all that just to get ready for liftoff. Don't want to have any nasty stuff there when that rocket decides to leave the ground, right? So, yeah.
I like that you say when the rocket decides, because it does decide. At a minute to go, its own computer internally takes over. But right now, at 2 minutes to go, we're about to see another large vent, just like we saw that T-minus 20-minute vent a little while ago. A similar thing is happening right now with locks load complete on stage 2, right, Alex?
Yeah, and the next thing we should hear is the gas closeouts. They vent sort of the pressure lines on the Stromback as well, because a lot of these things are pressurized, right? And that's another thing that you don't want on the lines, like have these high pressure gases around as well.
All right, 1 minute and 20 to go. 80 seconds.
There's the call out.
Gas closeouts, good. Ooh, we have pad audio. Let's listen. Minute to go. Falcon 9's internal computer will take over.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There
you go. Jinx, show me a Coke. All right, 27 Starlink V2 minis getting ready to get sent into space.
Director, go for launch.
LDs go for launch, exactly what we want to hear. And hopefully, with tonight's launch, if you listen close, you will hear the VAB squeal, because this is a launch out of Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral. And it is a Falcon 9, of course, because it's Slick 40. So listen close to launch audio. Hopefully we have some good audio for you tonight. 20 seconds to go. 15. 10. Watch the base of the vehicle for ignition. Looks like the water's active. Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9 B1067-29, now -30, a life leader for the Falcon 9 program, lifting 27 more Starlink satellites into space. Oh, Alex is right, it's not yet. It's got to land first. Vehicles transonic. I don't even want to talk over it. Look at the blue! Excellent track from Max. Coming up on T plus 2 minutes. Alex, what are we going to see next?
Up next should be main engine cutoff, MECO. All those 9 Merlin engines will shut down on the first stage. We'll have stage separation. 4 pushers will be separating both the first and second stages. And then we'll have MVAC ignition, that Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage igniting for a roughly 6-minute ascent burn into low Earth orbit.
Good stuff. Exhaust plume thinning out, and there's MECO. Looks like stage sep. Do we have second stage? There it is. Nice, and here's the view from SpaceX's cams on board. First stage going wee. I guess technically second stage also going wee. Wow! First, look at the left-hand side. The first stage getting absolutely roasted by the second. And the plasma on the grid fins. That is gorgeous. Bow shock or bow shock. Here comes a fairing step. Get Merlin, idiot. there's fairing step. Also wee. And there you can see the stack of Starlinks.
Get fairinged?
Get jettisoned.
Get jettisoned.
It'd be get jettisoned, for sure.
Yeet.
All right. I always say this on the launches that I host, but I truly love watching this. Second stage telemetry on the right, first stage telemetry on the left. Second stage, piling on the velocity. First stage, not really, piling on anything. It's coasting at this point, but the interesting thing to me is that it's coasting upward. Right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what happens every time you throw anything. It first sort of reaches this arch, right? And it reaches a top portion of that, and then it comes back down. And so that's what's happening right now. That first stage got a lot of velocity forward, but also up. So it's still coasting up. And then around Mysteriously, it usually happens around 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight for Starlink missions. Just probably a coincidence. That's when usually that apogee happens, and then it comes back down.
Yeah, it's something I didn't automatically, I guess, think
There it
or
is.
think about having being a thing that happened during a launch, but it's still got all that upwards momentum, and it's not burning its engines right now, but it was up until just a second ago, continuing upward with just on all of that momentum. And now you can see the first stage is starting to fall again, and you'll see that velocity correspondingly increase rapidly. But it's not going to get anywhere close to what the second stage is doing because, of course, the second stage is going to orbital velocity.
Yep. And because of a nice thing of gravity, it's sort of symmetric, right? Unless you have like drag or anything, it's sort of symmetric, which means if the stage in velocity and altitude was X and Y, for example, by the time it comes back down, it's going to have approximately the same speed at the same altitude because of that symmetry. It's sort of like a symmetric trajectory that it does. So after, when it goes through re-entry, before that entry burn happens, it's going to have about the same speed and altitude as when it does the main engine cutoff and stage separation.
Huh.
Which is neat. Because then you don't need to guess too much what's going to be doing as it re-enters. It's already done that before. It's just doing it the other way around with the engines first.
I never knew that. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Coming up on that entry burn here, we should see that standard 131 configuration, maybe even with that new fancy graphic that SpaceX has had.
Yeah, you can see already some of the streaks there from the engine chill ongoing.
Here comes entry burn. Also callouts for FTS being saved and both vehicles following a nominal trajectory. There's the entry burn. Beautiful as always.
And
Falcon
the engines
9 fighting fire with fire, protecting itself from the plasma of re-entry with its own rocket exhaust. Supersonic retro propulsion. I'll say it every time. It's so satisfying to say. Triethyl borane, triethyl aluminum. Supersonic retro propulsion. I don't know. Those are the only two I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. And then also, as you can see as you were able to see on the graphic, the engine graphic was recently changed so that it was like the same engines that relight are the same ones that you would see if it was transparent and you could see through the inner stage and tanks and everything. Those three engines that light up are from left to right. Those three engines, even though the plume is vertical to that, right? But it's because of how the exhausts interact with each other. And so it makes this line of exhaust in the other direction from up and down.
Makes sense. Simon in chat says unsymmetrical dimethylhydrazine. That's a good one too. I prefer symmetrical monomethylhydrazine though.
HTPB, MP band.
Oh man. I can't even. I don't even remember what those are. I know there's like hydroxyl terminated polybutid di. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Here comes the landing burn.
Excellent.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Oh, we have a frame. We had a frame.
Still telemetry. Let's
Come on,
see if
little
the drone ship-
Starlink. Come on, little
there
Starlink
we go.
antennas. You can do it.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Look at the blue.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Never get tired of that blue. Boop.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Boop confirmed.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Second stage cooking along. And we should see that Merlin vac shut down here momentarily. And maybe some ice fly away. Don't worry, it's not a mouse. It's not an alien, it's just ice. It'll happen. It happens. There's shutdown. You can see look, some ice. There you go. It's not a mouse, just ice. The number of DMs I get. Hey, was that a mouse? Nope, just ice. Hey, let's look at replays. Here is one from Fleet Camp. Max, do we have you back?
I sure hope so.
We got you loud and clear. At least I do. Let's see what chat says. Pudini says, not a mouse, just ice.
Definitely not a mouse.
Oh, good stuff. Wow, the clouds. Max, did you have a similar cloud situation to Fleet Cam, or?
Oh, very much so. And I think you may have noticed it on my track if you had it at the right time, in that the cloud deck was about thick enough to reflect some of the light from all 9 Merlins back off of the clouds and back onto the actual rocket itself. And it was lit up for about half a second before it flew through it. That was one of the prettier night launches I've seen because of that effect alone. And also the sound crept up on us in a really weird way that I haven't heard before from Slick 40. In that normally we hear just like a thud of all 9 engines igniting, and then just a gradual. Well, I shouldn't say gradual. It's kind of like a sudden appearance of rumble, where this one seemed to be just like walking up on us for a good 5 seconds or so. It was really strange. But
yeah, it took me by surprise. I was like, "Where's the earth-shattering kaboom?" And then the earth-shattering kaboom happened. But I didn't hear any squeal. Did you hear any squeal in person, Max?
Oh, sorry. I thought I lost you guys for a second with my Starlink.
No, you're good.
I don't recall hearing any squeal. I also wasn't really paying attention to it or listening for it. I guess we'll have to wait for the replay.
Yeah, so I guess you could say it wasn't your ordinary sound link.
No.
No, what? It wasn't? I'm right?
No.
So you're saying
no,
I'm right? You're saying I'm right. It wasn't an ordinary sound link. Wasn't an ordinary star sound? Do you like that one better?
That's even worse.
After these replays, we do have pet photos. That is going to happen. Do not fret. We're cycling through our replays. We had Fleet Cam 2. We had Auto Track. Here's KSC 2. Nice day to night shot. Night to day. You get it. I can words. I'm excited for pets because y'all came through with the super chats, and that means we're showing pets. And I have not spoiled. I haven't looked and seen what pictures were provided to Carson. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so you're right. Day into more day. Here's another one, a wider shot there.
.500th launch of Falcon 9.
So cool. And now it is B1067-30.
Yeah.
So cool. Sorry, Max, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, all good. We actually might not see it fly for a decent amount of time now because of that milestone, and that they'll probably have to recertify it for up to 5 more flights at least before then 5 more getting towards 40. So, never know. But it might be a while before we see this booster fly again.
Falcon 9 can be recertified up to 10 times. Thank you, Alex. Here's another shot. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is my wide over here on the lawn.
Really lovely. Was there something in the water there? Did you see that? Or was that just maybe the reflection of the rocket plume?
I mean, it may have been jumping fish because we do have those here out of the water. We don't know exactly why they do it, but here's my track, and this is what I'm most excited for.
Let's go.
And there should be audio with this one too.
Let's listen. Man, really delayed start. You weren't kidding.
And there it comes. There's a hint of the squeal.
It's there, but it's real quiet.
Yeah.
I had the mic turned down this time to avoid any sort of just ugly peaking, and that may have been why it may have been a bit more muted this time.
Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, continuing to track it through the clouds, dude. Good job.
Yeah, that was
It's not
also
easy.
yeah, and like that's like how it looked here through the monitor as well, with how well lit the actual body of the rocket still was. Even though the camera was compensating with a brighter exposure, was still I haven't seen that before at night. Maybe it was just the light coming back off the clouds from underneath, but it was certainly really, really pretty.
Yeah, maybe. The blue too. Gotta love that blue. It's so it's just surreal, otherworldly. Like, I don't know what to even call it, but that blue and that purple at this stage of flight is just. My eyes will never get tired of seeing that particular blue.
Changes rather rapidly here too, from
Right?
red
It's
or
so
orange to
it's so
red to
brief.
blue to purple.
And it's such a hard thing to capture. There's Miko.
Not yet.
Coming up. It's coming up. That little last gasp of the blue there. All right,
That's
there's
Miko.
Miko. All right, wise guy. Weisenheimer.
I got that reference.
Thank you. Hey, look, it's an empty launch pad. I would say that's our favorite site on launch day, but I believe we have some pet pictures that we need to show. Oh, it's Laika. Oh, who's a good baby? Laika, I believe, did win the poll. Let me check the poll. Sorry, hang on. Oh, yep, number one best pet, as voted by our viewers. 724 votes, 36% of the vote going to Laika. Everyone agrees, best pet. Such a good girl. Fun fact, she was a
Did
stray.
Carson-
She showed up to the bunkhouse one day, like, as a stray little puppy. Oh, it's Jake. Look, I wonder if Jake has the brain cell in this photo. Swear,
doesn't look
Cat,
like
they
it.
don't have that.
yeah, I'm not sure if he has it in this photo. He's still really cute. Perhaps cuter if not. Jake coming in with 24% of the vote. Very, very cute. Everyone loves an orange cat. Oh, it's Pixel. Pixel got robbed, y'all. Pixel only got 13% of the vote. I want to recount, even if that means Laika loses. I feel like Pixel should be way higher up than 13%. What a good dog.
Best dog by Kevin.
Yeah. I like how Kevin needs to put KMR because he's chatting with the official NASA spaceflight account. But like as if we didn't know that was Kevin because it says best dog. Like it's like saying ATM machine. It's kind of redundant. Oh, Pixel. Y'all, thank you so much for joking around with us.
Dear.
And hanging out with us and supporting what we do and doing 10 teal super chats so we can show pictures of the best NSF pets. And here's one. Here's an NSF pet that I like. Named Alex.
Going for a
Leo.
walk, I guess.
Yeah, he had walkies. Oh, it's Pixel. Yeah, Pixel. And Jake,
Jake.
seriously, y'all, thank you so much. It's a real treat to get to hang out and observe rocket launches and point cameras at them, and we appreciate the support. We hope you enjoy the pet pictures. I think we're all gonna jump off stream and give all of our respected pets some love.
The difference, though, between Laika, Pixel, Jake, and me is that at least I was wearing NSF merch.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that Laika, Pixel, and Jake are house trained.
Jesus.
All right, thank you all so much for watching.
Can you not?
Starlink 1025.
Even late night Starlinks do be
if we
hitting
had
different, folks.
merch,
Yeah, you did good. If you want to keep track of everything going on in the space flight world, on whatever social media of choice you are on, you can see the socials there on the top right. There's Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, Twex, whatever you want to call it. There's TikTok, I think, even. There's a Facebook. Wherever you want to find us, that's where we are. You can get your space news. There's also the Next Spaceflight app, which rules, of course. Joining me on stream was Alex. Alex, thank you for being on stream tonight.
always loyal to the cause.
I'm not going to take the bait. Thank you for being on. Max, thank you as well for being on stream and pointing the cameras with skill as always.
Always happy to do it, and thank you very much, everyone, for coming to hang out at a rather ungodly hour here on the east coast of Florida. But these late night Starlinks do be hitting different, right, Jack?
Soundlink.
No,
Soundlinks.
no,
It hit different because it sounded
No.
different.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Carson operating the stream tonight. Thank you, Carson Phillips, so much, buddy, for putting up with all of our shenanigans. Oh, man. It's been a good one. Also, really quick, ODST Moody with a $5 super chat coming in right at the end here, saying, how much soot do they clean after each launch? Like, almost none. All the way down to the aluminum alloy, leaving stain. Surely a leftover would add mass and drag. No, it's not really an issue. But we will talk about that surely in future streams. But they don't really clean much, and it's not really a mass issue. But thank you for that last little bit of support there. We can't do what we do without your support. I'm being told by Kevin in our back channel to check out. You should all check out a special flame trench on Friday. It will start a little bit later. So, if you are a fan of the Flame Trench, Friday, mark your calendars, set an alarm, set a timer, whatever you got to do, a reminder. Special Flame Trench Friday. I don't even know what that means, but it's going to be good. All right, thanks y'all for watching. That'll be it for this one. Go hang out at Starbase Live. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. We'll see you on the next one.
And here we go.
We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Say again, SPD off.
It's orange! 145! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Amazing!
Put that in the big bag.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? We don't need any more of these.